Republican Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene had some harsh words for her fellow Republicans this week in a statement that she gave on the steps of the Capitol. Marjorie Taylor Greene said that any Republican who supports the bipartisan infrastructure package is in fact a traitor. And that might be one of the biggest cases of projection we've ever seen, but here is her exact statement. Any Republican that votes yes to an infrastructure bill that helps President Joe Biden pass his agenda when bumbling Biden doesn't even know what he's doing, then that Republican is a traitor to our party, a traitor to their voters, and a traitor to our donors. You know, Marjorie, sometimes, and I love to say this because it's so true, sometimes the best thing to say is nothing at all. And in this particular instance, you could have just stopped at a traitor to our party, a traitor to our voters. Okay? At that point, your statement may have had a little bit of effect on those Republicans. But once you said a traitor to our donors, oh man, you just gave up the game there, Marjorie. How are you still so bad at this? I mean, really, you've been in office for 10 months now. I would think you'd be a little bit better at choosing your words a little more carefully. But no, you didn't. A traitor to our donors who don't want to see Republicans join with Democrats to give the public something good. And of course, I'm talking about the infrastructure bill, not the reconciliation bill. The infrastructure bill, even though it is not quite as big as had been originally promised, in fact, it's a lot smaller than that, does provide necessary relief for every single county throughout the United States. Every county. That's how big this thing is. And again, it should have been bigger. We needed it to be bigger. But even as it is right now, with bipartisan support, by the way, it provides money for every single county here in the United States, which means every single representative, including Marjorie Taylor Greene, her district is going to get a lot of money to improve their infrastructure. This is the kind of legislation that literally everywhere across the country is going to benefit from it. Again, maybe not to the degree that we had wanted them to, but the infrastructure bill is still a pretty decent bill. And it is absolutely a necessity that we pass this piece of legislation. And Marjorie's out there scaring her fellow Republicans, saying, if you do this, you're a traitor. You want to talk about traitors? Marjorie, we learned earlier this week that you had been coordinating with the organizers of that Stop the Steal rally. Stop the steal. The steal wasn't even real. And you have the audacity to call anybody else in this country a traitor? No, you need to look in the mirror when you make statements like that, because that is the person you need to be directing this towards, yourself. But the biggest reason she does not want Republicans to support this bill is because she does not want it to pass. Because if it passes, then that will have meant that Joe Biden and the Democrats gave something good to the American public, which is going to diminish Republicans' chances of taking back the House and the Senate in the midterms. That's what she's really concerned about. And she would rather throw literally every single county in this country under the bus in order to score a political victory. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, share, and most importantly, subscribe to our channel for fresh content 7 days a week.